So, how much do you truly need to retire early? I have a financial independence calculator, which you can download for absolutely free by visiting firesearcher.com/resources. The formula for the fire number is your annual expenses multiplied by 25. So, for example, if your annual expenses today are $40,000 a year, if you multiply that by 25, then your fire number is $1 million because with a 4% withdrawal rate, you can take out $40,000 a year from your investment account without ever worrying about running out of money, right? And now I'm going to show you this. And this is my financial independence calculator. It is super simple to use, okay? And the first block is where you put the current amount you have invested for either early retirement or just retirement, depending on your age. If you're retiring at age 60, then you should include your 401k, Roth IRA, and any investment accounts that you currently have. If you're retiring early in your 40s or 50s, then you should only put the amount of your early retirement investments and that don't include your 401k or Roth IRA. The second block is where you put the average stock market return. If you think you can perform better than the 7% average, then you can just put 8%, 9%, or 10%. It's up to you. The next block is where you put your current age or the age you're turning this year. So I'm going to be 37 this year, so I'm going to put 37, right? The next block is your desired retirement age. You can put 45, 46, or 60 if you want to. And the next block is going to tell you how many years you have until you achieve FIRE or financial independence and retire early. And the next one is the annual inflation rate. And I know this has been the subject of discussion since 2022. And I put 2% because historically speaking, it's been 2% or 2.5% on average if you don't count 2022 and 2023. You can put whatever you want to like 2.5 or 3%. Okay. And the next block is your annual expenses. This is where you need to do the line by line expenses you have now, like your housing, transportation, utilities, and groceries. If your expenses now are $50,000 a year, but your future expenses are going to be $70,000 a year, then I will put $70,000 based on your retirement expenses. You should also include your mortgage payments if you think you're going to keep your mortgage on there. And the next block in green right here is where you put your other income sources, such as your pensions, because your pensions are your passive income streams. You can put your Social Security pension, federal government pension, state pension, or your military pension. And if you retire as an active duty member, let's say you retire at the age of 40, you can start collecting your military pension right away. So you would put that on there to calculate your fire number. You can also put your rental income if you want to, but just make sure it's your net income and not the gross income. But keep in mind that you can't collect some of these pensions until you're 60 or 62. So if you're retiring early in your 40s or 50s, you're not going to be able to add those pensions in this block. You can always put other income sources like the business income, rental income, or if you collect any royalties. But if you put $30,000 a year right here, okay, let's say that's your military pension income, your annual expenses will be reduced from $70,000 to $40,000, which means your fire number would also be reduced. So with a 4% withdrawal rate, your fire number could be reduced from $1.75 million to $1 million because you have a pension income of $30,000 a year. That makes sense so far, right? I'm going to show you this again. So let's say you don't have any pension right now, okay? Your fire number will be $1.75 million to live on to pay for $70,000 annual expenses. But if you collect $30,000 and take a look at line 14 here, okay? See how the numbers change to $1 million? That's how it's going to be because you need to live on $70,000, but you're getting that $30,000 in pension. Now you just need to collect $40,000 a year from your fire investment. So that would be $1 million invested, okay? And so your fire number today could be, $1 million here. But if you adjust it by the 2% annual inflation rate, your fire number, if you look at line 15, 15 years from now, is going to be $1.3 million. And these numbers are really generic because you should be calculating your annual expenses every single year to recalculate your FIRE number. And if you look at line 16 here, this is how much you need to invest every year for the next 15 years with a 7% average annual return to hit that FIRE number at retirement. And line 17 tells you how much you need to invest each month to retire in 15 years with a 7% average annual return. In order to reduce that amount, you can either reduce your expenses or increase your pension income. You might also need to increase your retirement age. Let's say you want to retire at 50 or 55. Okay, let me go to 50 instead. Okay, you see how that now you don't need to save as much as you would for 15 years. Now you have 20 years to invest, but it gives you more breathing room if you're not making that much money right now. And I also keep in mind that I kept the beginning balance at $0. And chances are that you probably have some money invested already, right? So if you put $100,000 here, let's say that's how much money you have invested so far, then your minimum annual investment see will be reduced even more. Now you just need to invest at least $2,000 a month to retire. And let me know in the comment section down below if you have any questions about the FIRE calculator. And the one thing you really need to figure out is your annual expenses. Okay, so like you need to take the time to just go line by line, and you probably have an idea how much you spend every year right now. And you need to be able to divide discretionary and non-discretionary expenses. What does your retirement look like to you? Are you looking to spend less or more in retirement? It's going to depend on how much money you're spending now. If you have kids, you might not need to spend as much because they're probably going to be moved out of the house by the time you retire. If you're close to your normal retirement age of 60, then you might not need to invest as much in the taxable brokerage account because you'll be eligible to withdraw from your retirement accounts at the age of 59 and a half. Can I retire with $1 million invested? Absolutely. If my expenses are less than $40,000 a year, then my $1 million investment is totally doable. If you plan to receive a pension, you might not even need $1 million invested because you'll have additional income streams. This FIRE calculator is only based on the total investments you're going to have in the stock market. And your savings rate absolutely matters more than the stock market return. If you want to retire with $2 million, $3 million, you have to increase your savings rate because that's what you can control. You can't really control how the stock market performs, right? Let me know in the comment section down below if you have any questions about the calculator.